11 cultures that can get you in trouble, that can actually take you to prison if you live in any of the Western countries, especially Australia, America, London. These cultures, they are beautiful cultures, good cultures. I mean, it's supposed to be better. It's a good one. But in these environments, it will not do you any good if you have these cultures with you. Culture number 1, greeting everyone you meet. This was a full-on one. Most of us that live in Australia have experienced this. And maybe you live in any of the other countries and this is your experience. In as much as culture taught us in Africa that once we move out and we meet any elderly person, we should greet. You should greet. Depending on how you are greeting from Africa, that is not accepted in Australia. No. In as much as you want to be nice, it's not the real thing. You don't have to do that. You can get into big trouble for doing that. Even though that culture is a beautiful thing, if you are still in Africa, you can greet everyone you meet. I mean, you have to. You know, you've met an elderly person, you've met a friend. Hey, man, how you going? Even if you don't know the person, you have to greet. This is culture number 1 that has let a lot of people down because they call it here stranger danger, especially for kids and for young ones. Stranger danger. It's assumed every stranger is dangerous. These things are taught in schools for the school kids. So if you live in Australia, you are traveling to Australia, you are going to Germany, going to America, London, any of those countries, you don't just meet anyone and start greeting anyhow. Even though, you feel bad because back home, you meet any person, you have to say hello, you have to greet. That is supposed to be from where we come from. But where we live now, it's a no. So please, if you know one, please share it with us. If you have experienced one, if you had a beautiful experience or a bitter one, let us know. I remember that I've met a few people that are also Africans. From a distance, you just try to even give a wave and they just go like, no. They are not kids, grown-ups, but they don't want to have anything to do with you because at that point, you are considered stranger and every stranger is dangerous. Stranger danger. That is number one thing you need to look out for. So stranger danger is the number 1. Stranger danger means greeting everyone you meet on the street like we were taught in Africa. Every adult, everyone you meet, you greet. Meet them in Australia and do that and you are in trouble. Especially if the person is not an African, it is the worst for you. If it's a she and you are a he, big problem. It can be anything, especially when there are no witnesses around. Number 2, not looking into the eyes of your elderly or bosses. Oh my goodness. When you are called for a meeting, let's say like a disciplinary meeting or even for a job interview, or they've leveled an allegation against you that you've done A, B, C, or D, but you didn't do it, or whatever, whether you did it or not, that's not the case here. But if you are called and they are talking to you, telling you what has been said, you've done and you've not done, and you don't look into their eyes, like you don't look face to face like them like this, and you look, in Africa, you can't look into the eyes of your elderly when they are talking to you, and your boss is an elderly person. We don't look at age only, but then we look at the person's social status and status in society or at work. And you can use that to say this person is elderly. So in Africa, how we do it, you are required to even put your hand behind you. Or most of the times, you just bow down and the person is talking and then you are listening. And then when he finishes, you go like, I'm sorry, sir. Or thank you. Then you just go, oh my goodness. You cannot take your eyeballs away from the eyeballs of the person talking to you, even though the person is accusing you and is saying something that is not true, good or bad, elderly or young, you have to look into their eyeballs. Why? Because they say it is a sign of guilt. They assume the fact that you are culturally trying to be polite and respectful, they assume that by not dulling into their eyes, you are guilty. Done. It's closed. So, do you know how many people that have failed interviews in any of the developed countries and they did not know why they failed? And these are some of the reasons why you failed. Trust me, these are some of the reasons, because out of respect to the one interviewing you, you are looking out, or you are looking on the side. You don't want to look into the eyes, and like you are just there fidgeting, turning here and there. No, that's how you lost. That is how you lost your interview straight away. So they expect you to look into their eyes, even though you feel that way of not looking into their eyes. It's a sign of respect for authority, you know. But trust me, that culture is another no-no in Australia, in Germany, in any of the developed countries that will let you lose your job. We are speaking to you as a family members. We are on Family Arena today, and I'm speaking to you as your brother, your friend, whatever that is giving you some arms up your sleeves, so that if you should find yourself in Australia one day, find yourself in Germany, or even if you are attending an interview for visa, you not go there looking elsewhere. They want you to look, they call it eyeball to eyeball. Please, if you can confirm this, please type your comment, let us know. Or if you think otherwise, your experience is different, please let us know. Share your thoughts. Okay, so that is the next one. Not looking to the eyeballs of your elderly or your boss. They think it is a sign of guilt. So if they're accusing you for stealing at work or committing a crime at work, and you did not look into their eyes, when you leave and they are taking decision behind you, their decision is going to be like, he looked really guilty. Yeah, I think he did it. That is how you get into trouble. So you can be, most people may have lost jobs because of this. Many may have been to court and been to jail because of this. So let us learn this. Please share the link. Let everyone that you know get access to this. It will help someone today or in the future. Point number 3, not talking back when an elderly person is talking to you. Oh my goodness. You know, in Africa, the culture is like when an elderly person speaks to you and he's accusing you, condemning you, whether he's right or not, he's right. You just listen, and if there is anything that needed to be moved, let's say maybe someone left something, a coffee cup mug on a desk at your workplace, and then someone said you did, and you didn't do it, and your boss calls you and goes like, hey, Ebenezer, why did you do A, B, C, D, E? As an African, you just go like, you know how we ask you questions, why did you do this? And we don't expect you to answer. That is how in Africa it is. Okay. So some of the questions, it requires someone just going to move the mug. That's it. So you just go and you be like, okay, sorry, sir, I'll go and move it. And you go and move the mug, but you did not put it there. The fact that you did not step up to explain that you did not do it, that means you are guilty. It means the accuser is right. So long as you don't speak back, you don't speak for yourself, you don't explain things when they have finished talking, that's it for you. You are done. You are right. The person is right. Okay, so point number 4. We are moving really quick. If you have some, please share it with us. Point number 4, it says that sharing your food at work with colleagues, and maybe if you are working in the hospital or something, sharing with a client, don't do that. You think it's nice. You are being a nice man. You are sharing. They say sharing is caring. So you want to be the African where 5 brothers can eat from one saucepan. No way. Not here. It doesn't happen. It's not accepted. Why are they doing that? Reason mainly is because sometimes there could be what we call food poisoning. The person may be allergic to something that you are eating, and the person might get a problem, and that can put you in trouble. So don't try that. If they want to try your food, please find a nice way to say no. It's okay to say no. All right. it's very okay to say no. And maybe you explain why, because the food was made, it's an African food. Maybe a lot of ingredients have been in there, and the person you want to share with has never tried it. Or eating a new thing, it can cause, they call it food poisoning, even though it's not poisoning as we Africans know food poisoning to be. We see food poisoning as putting poison, some chemical into the food. But in Australia, in Germany, in the developed world, first world countries, food poisoning is when you even eat something and you get running stomach. You've got food poisoning. Okay, so point number 5. We call everyone by their first names. Come on, you are not going to call anyone Mr. John, Mr. Michael, Mr. Martin. No, they don't want you to do that. So, but even though when you are from Africa and you move here and you see people like that, you feel the discomfort. You know, you can't stand, calling an elderly person like that by his ordinary name. It doesn't sit well with you. You know, please, I'm encouraging you, try and share the link. Share them both on Facebook and YouTube if possible. Please share for us and let our viewers know what is going on. Share it for our friends, because somebody needs this information really seriously. Yeah, so that is what happens in here. We said that, okay, the next point was we call everyone by their first name. So you can just call me Ebenezer. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. You can work with your workmate who is your grandfather's age, but you still have to call him John, Michael, Martin, Peter, Fred. Just mention the names. That is what is expected of you in Australia, and that is fine. Don't feel, it feels weird. I know it feels weird, but that is what you have to be doing. No Mr. Martin, Mr. John, Mr. Ebenezer, Mr. Peter. One of my sisters was feeling so discomforting, and then she was always calling one man Mr. Peters. Wherever you are, my sister, you know yourself. Out of discomfort. You know, the man is so mature and your lip is feeling so heavy, not calling him by a mister. You know, so please let us share this. Let everyone learn. Point number 6, appreciating a female colleague's beauty, her dress, her hairstyle, or etc. at work. Please don't try it. You know, in Africa, it's beautiful. Because, hey, my sister, I like your hair. Your hair is beautiful. You try those comments in any of these developed countries, and it is considered to be sexual harassment. Yes. Please, if you know otherwise, type it. Let us see. Let our viewers know what you think, what your experiences have been. Appreciating a friend, a work colleague's beauty, a friend's beauty, that is considered sexual harassment and is not acceptable. Whereas in Africa, you are being nice. You don't mean anything. You are being nice. Let us be very mindful if we do these things. Let us stay away from things like that because they are not acceptable in any of the developed countries. And that is it. Okay, so point number 7. 7 culture that can lead you into prison, lead you into any terrible situation in the developed country, including Australia, Germany, London. That is asking for the opposite sex's phone number. This sounds ridiculous. I was telling someone, but the person thought I was kidding until she went and watched a video of one of these, those gold digger pranks, those that do the pranks in London, in America. Whenever you watch any movie or you watch any of those pranks, for certain reasons, I can't play some of their videos because it's, tantamount to copyright. So what they do is this. When you ask a lady, like I'm a guy, if I meet a lady and ask the lady, oh, can I have your number? The response should be no, right? Or yes. But when I ask, can I have your number? She'll go like, no, I have a boyfriend. To an African, this is so ridiculous. If an African man is asking for your phone number, it doesn't mean he's proposing or something. But that is how it is understood. Ask for a girl's phone number, and the answer will be, I have a boyfriend. I'm sorry, I can't give you my number. But it's not a reason why I'm asking for a contact. Maybe you are my workmate, maybe I might be running late someday, so I'll give you a call, or for whatever other reason. Or I thought we were friends. Now, you don't do that in Australia. No, you don't do that in any of the developed countries. Viewers, if you are in any of these countries and you think it's otherwise, share your thoughts. Let us learn from you. Beautiful. All right. So point number 8. This is a different cultural issue, but it's worth knowing. Did you know that if you intend to marry in the house of a Sudanese and you are a man, you dare not eat from that house? Because the day you eat from their bowl, you drink even a drink in their house, that's it. You've terminated your intention of marrying a Sudanese lady in that house. So if you have an intention of getting married to a lady who is from Sudan, when you visit them and they offer you a cup of drink or water or anything, thank them and don't drink. Then they know your intention. These are different cultures that, if you don't know, can lead you into anything. Point number 9, we're almost there. Throwing your hands when I'm talking, I keep throwing my hands down here a lot. Sometimes it comes up here. When you throw your hands, right, like in the name of gestures, when talking, in Australia, it is considered to be very, very aggressive. And aggressive means you can beat somebody and you can get into trouble for that. If it's at work and you talk like that, it's considered you can be very, very aggressive. This guy is wild. Whereas, especially in West Africa, most African countries, when somebody is talking to you, he's pointing, for instance, if I'm directing you how to get to a place, I say, when you get to that place at the junction, you just turn right, as if I'm standing there. But no, that is how we grew up. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong. I know a lady that when she's talking, a woman was talking to a child, says, oh, where is the money? This is an African, of course. He goes like, I've sent you this money. You want me to buy something? He says, okay, I want you to buy 1 bag of rice. Then she puts the phone under her armpit. 1 bag of rice, 2 cups of sugar, this. And then when she finishes, do you understand? What I'm trying to say is that we are so used to throwing our hands, demonstrating things. When something is big, we are talking, just having a chat. It's very big. We have to show you something. We are very, very dramatic people, Africans. And it doesn't mean anything. So if you are a different cultural person, from a different culture, and you're listening to this program, please, if you see some of these signs, it doesn't mean the person is aggressive. The next point, number 10, is speaking loudly. Most Africans, the way I'm talking to somebody, I'm so loud. To somebody, I am so loud. Man, I'm speaking too loud. Okay? I'm speaking too loud. And so I'm aggressive. I've had an experience of meeting people from many other cultures. And they speak, they talk. They always shout and then they discuss. No, you can't do that. When someone is even passing by and you are discussing soccer the way you do in Africa, somebody might call police on you thinking you are fighting. But you are not. You're just having a chat. Brother, it's actually a very healthy discussion, That is the difference between Africans and the developed country. They don't understand us, and we are paying dearly for them not understanding us. But unfortunately, will they go down to learn who you are just because they want to live with you? No. So we, having moved to their place of comfort, their house, their country, we have to find a way to learn how to unlearn some of the things we know so that we can fit in. It's unfortunate, but this is the reality. So when you talk, You are talking to your brother, an African, you can be as loud as you can. You can have a chat in private, but when you meet the people out there and you are talking to the people in the community, you may have to lower the volume and start talking. Oh yeah, how are you? Good? Oh, nice. So you just have to do it like that for them to be comfortable. If not, they see you and they are running away. They feel you are too aggressive. These people are just too aggressive. Meanwhile, we are not. Very nice people, calm people, Africans, but that is how we have been raised. We've lived in a community where when you are growing up, you get up in the morning, you stand in front of your house and you shout and call your friend from the next house. So shouting is normal, talking, but no, you don't do that in any of the developed countries. People are getting into trouble. Many have gotten into more trouble for some of these things we are talking about. If you have had an experience with any of these that I've listed, please share your experience by commenting. Or if you think otherwise, please share your thoughts. Let us know what the realities are where you live. Is it the same thing? Let me know. The next point, number 11. Point number 11 is, this is very funny. You know how you can have both of your hands, behind you, like you put your hands behind you like that. You know what I mean? So like when you are talking to an elderly person, you put both hands behind you. And you are standing there with head down and the elderly person is speaking to you. No, that cannot happen at workplace in Australia. If you are being accused, you are in court, and this is how you're going to stand. You know how they're going to judge you? I'm going to read something for you to see how they will judge you. If you dare put both hands behind you when you are being accused of something or when you are being investigated, you think it is respectful in Africa when you're talking to an elderly person in authority, put both hands behind you. That is the African way. But what about the Australian way? What about the UK way? That is what we're going to be talking about. All right. So now I'll read. Even though there isn't universal meaning behind certain hand movement, there is a universal truth when it comes to hands. All people use hands to communicate in one way or the other. They are effectively cutting off a form of communication. In many cultures, this is a sign that they are holding back or trying to control what they express to you. This can make it difficult when you are trying to establish good business communication. So can you imagine talking business to someone in Australia, and in your mind, you know what I mean? In your mind, you are being so respectful, so you are going to win the business. So as he's talking, both hands are behind you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Yes. This is what they will use to judge you. So at the end of the day, after having a very nice business meeting, just because you put your hand behind you, you have lost the business because the things you were not honest. To us, putting your hand behind you, if you went for an interview in Africa like that, you will be told that you are so respectful, so you will win the job. Sister Georgina Miracle says, God's hand is bigger than anything we can imagine. Exactly right. That is perfect. That is perfect. So when we keep both of our hands behind us, we are done. You will not win. And if it is, let's say, a criminal investigation you are going through, what's going to happen? You will get jailed because you have been holding information. Questioning you, even though you've said it all. But because your hands are behind you, these are security things and cultural things in Australia. You go for a job interview, you do this, you have lost the job. You go for investigative meeting at work, like you've been accused of something and you go to explain yourself and you put your hands behind you, you are done. Okay, so now we look at the last point, number 12. So when you put both hands in front of you, like that, when you are talking to somebody, sometimes you can hold both hands like this in front of you. You know what that means? Oh, this is sad. Africans, let us be careful of some of the things we do. When you do that, it is considered, let me read this, both hands in front of you. That is groin blocking. Putting both hands around your genital area, like holding your hands in front of you. It says when people claps or cross their hand in front of their groin, they are often showing strong feeling of insecurity and nervousness. Come on! How nervous is that? The person is rather bold enough to respectfully put his hand in front, hold his hands. He's standing there watching you, doing what you're doing. He's not moving his. If you throw our hands, problem. If we hold our hands in front, problem. If we hold our hands behind, problem. What do you have to do? Keep both hands just beside you. And sometimes these things get us into more trouble without actually committing a crime. You know, it's really, really bad. And Aqua says, that's very true. African training and overseas things are confusing. Exactly. Evangelist Jastasari says, great job. Trust me, it is so confusing when you live in this environment. And in conclusion, I will say something. It says that covering your groin area can also send a message of submissiveness, shyness, and innocence. In business coaching, it is recommended to avoid this stance if you want to appear assertive and decisive. So you don't do that in business. You do that at any business place, not accepted. Not accepted. Why should these things affect us? Just because we were trained differently, we cannot have the right to behave differently. These are very, very serious things that we need to always be looking into. If not, things are going to go really bad for us. So today, this is what we have for you by way of Family Arena. But please, I'm encouraging you to share this link with people so that everybody that lives in Australia or is about to live in Australia or going for an interview, they are new. If you share this and they chance on it, probably they are going to have a very good interview. Someone is going for a jury or any sort of, disciplinary meeting, they will know how to organize their body, because body language is speaking volumes to the people that are going to speak to you at whatever meeting you are attending. Now, do you know that when we travel from Africa to Australia or to any of these developed countries, when we do these things in the way that the foreign countries want, after we've practiced many times, okay, when we go back home to Africa, you know how they see you? You are very proud. When your elders are talking, you are also talking. But they forget that you have come to a place where it has been so different for you for 10, 15, 20 years. So going back, when someone speaks, you want to speak back. Nana Eboa, God bless you. I know you've had your own share. You've had your experience when you went overseas. So when they are talking, you don't have to say anything. But with the newness of practice you've been through in the overseas, and when you get back there, it becomes a different thing for you. This can set you up for confusion. So when you came to Australia or to London or Germany, it was confusing trying to settle in. When you went back home after 10, 15, 20 years, now all that you learned from Africa, you have unlearned them. Because of that, they also think you are now disrespectful. So, question is, what do you do? Where do we find the blend? God bless you so much. But more importantly, those of you living in Australia or the developed countries, I encourage you to take very good advice from this. Share this link, subscribe to our channel if you have not, follow us on Facebook if you haven't done that. There is a good news that we're going to share with you guys, but it's going to come very soon. But let me conclude by saying that the beds that we spoke about, most of them are ready now for us to do distribution. On Sunday, I think the 12th, or no, the 9th. Sunday is the 8th or 9th. Okay, let me check now so that I can give the specific information. May 8th. 8th May, that is Sunday, we are receiving a lot of beds and it's going to be distributed. So those that have already written your names that you need beds, you are getting them on Sunday. But if you have not written your name and you want beds, please send us a message, send a comment at the bottom of the screen, give us a call. All our contacts are always on the screen. Our email address is there. Our Facebook link is there. Communicate with us if you want a bed. It's a full-size bed, beautiful beds that is being given out for free, even including delivery. But if you have your means to pick them up yourself, beautiful. Let's organize and get you to get your bed delivered to you. We also got a lot of stock to give away. Please get ready and receive them. Give us a call ASAP and let us organize your bed for you. God bless you so much. Enjoy yourself and have a good night. See you again tomorrow on Warzo with Evangelist Justice Asare, plus some surprises, and the Lord will be your blessing. Thank you and see you again tomorrow. Please share your comments and then we will come back to do follow-up program on this. Thank you.
While at the cross, my Savior made me whole. Is that the truth? Say, my sins were washed away.